Yes, 5 wins, 1 draw, 8 losses for the Knights. Kalen Ponga is on deck though. And they are always a chance when he's wearing the #1 jersey. He was good last week in what was a narrow loss once again against the Roosters up there at Gosford, 18 points to 16.
Yeah, such a big night for Kalen, captain of the club, as we said, on the back of back-to-back losses for Newcastle, and he can do things that others can't. And now with this Penrith side down a few big-name stars, you could just expect that he could tear them to shreds in a heartbeat. But the fullback's got to get himself in the game early, get himself in the physical stuff, and particularly down this left-hand side for Newcastle. His combination with Best and Marzu is certainly one to watch.
It's a tremendous battle tonight between the two #1s. Dylan Edwards leads out the Panthers.
Yeah, boy, I've been impressed with Dylan Edwards. And, you know, on the back of the performance on Wednesday night from New South Wales, there is no doubt that if he continues to press with the form that he has over recent weeks, actually for the last 18 months, in fact, that there may be an opportunity to squeeze himself into the sky blue jersey. Certainly wouldn't look out of place. Ultra consistent, and just been so impressed with the development of his game in terms of his passing selection, standing up last week without Cleary and Jerome Luai. His game just continues to evolve and get better.
For the sounds of AC/DC, we'll find out for whom the bell tolls here at Penrith tonight. Second meeting between these two teams in 2023. And it's Kalen Ponga, who didn't play in that round 7 encounter, will get us underway here tonight. Kickoff goes down to Jamin Salmon, one of those filling the breach tonight for the Stars, who are being rested by Ivan Cleary. Kenny from dummy half. Comes to Moses Leota, who missed the game last week against the Cowboys for personal reasons. Back into the starting side tonight as they go to this right-hand side. Good carry here as they work it towards the 30 from Hoskin. Eisenhuth into the lock forward role, taking over from Isaiah Yeo. Different style of player. Don't know if he'll do as much ball playing through the middle as Yeo invariably does for the Panthers, as Edwards, player number 5, will bring it back here and play it just short of the halfway line. Cogger, 4th game filling in for Nathan Cleary off the back of the hamstring strain right here against the Dragons, where he came off the bench and was very good first up, filling in for Cleary.
Yeah, really professional set there from Penrith to get underway for the night. Nice work from Edwards, carrying on play 4 offload here from Dom Young. Phoenix Crossland now just scheming, looking for opportunities.
15 short of the halfway line. They'll move it forward here through Adam Elliott. Chopped down there by Eisenhuth around the legs. Crossland, the right-hand side for Jackson Hastings in that headgear tonight, the all-black headgear, and Ponga in his traditional red and blue. Crossland. Here's Saifidi taking it across the halfway line. Daniel, that is, in the starting side. Jacob coming off the bench down the short side. Hastings, shallow kick here, coming forwards. Edwards goes to the air. He makes a good grab, and they'll begin just outside their own 20. Turvin now flying into this Newcastle defence. He was a long way up there. He's got some springs, doesn't he? Along with everything else, Dylan Edwards. Nice first touch there. Middle, the Panthers work it. Eisenhuth here, plenty of touches early on. They'll play it for Kenny. Fisher Harris now looks in, comes out to Leota, who will play it just outside the Knights 40. Quick play the ball as well. Kenny for Cogger. Hosking on his outside, but he kicks a one bouncer down to Kalen Ponga, who skips his way back towards the defensive line. Salmon was out chasing hard on him, and they wrap him up inside the 20. And as Dominic Young takes a carry, we go downstairs to James Hooper.
Evening, Warren and Michael. Evening, everybody. Currently 13 degrees at the foot of the mountains, but that hasn't stopped. 17,000 plus fans coming out to watch the 2-time premiers. We know how much they love their rugby league in Western Sydney, as we see the Newcastle Knights make a break, Warren.
From Best to Marju, who did well to come back in away from the sideline, and He'll play it here, 40 out from the Penrith line. Ponga waits at dummy half. Goes through Tyson Gamble. He's in that field goal battle back in round 7 with Nathan Cleary. Gamble kicked one for the Knights. Cleary was too good though. From Hastings again, he goes towards Edwards. Dominic Young bats it backwards. A touch there from Elliott. Cleaned up though by the Panthers, and Tungor is away. In fact, it's Peachy working it back here to play it just short of the halfway line. Nice work by the veteran. Tom Jenkins is in there getting a chance again on this wing for the Panthers tonight on the right-hand side of the field. Scored a try last week in that Golden Point loss to the Cowboys up in Townsville. Kenny. Nice flat there, Eisenhuth, Cogger. Looking inside for Salmon. We'll take it down to 30 out from the Newcastle line. Tackles to play with here for the Panthers. Eisenhuth comes out to Cogger. Back on the inside there for Tungor on the right-hand side as opposed to his normal left edge tonight in this reshuffle. Eisenhuth at the line, met there by Crossland and also Saifiti. And the Panthers have one more here. It's Cogger to do the kicking. The target is Jenkins out wide, up against Marju. Jenkins a tap backwards. It falls though for the Knights, and Dylan Lucas will play it there inside the 10. There was a knock on by Penrith. They give the Knights a couple of 3 metres.
Yeah, not exactly where he would have liked to have landed the kick that time, Cogger. That was the previous break. Dom Young getting up above Dylan Edwards, tapping the ball back, and it was Peachy that swooped on it. And a really professional set again from Penrith, turning the ball over 10 metres out from Newcastle's line. Boy, the middle forwards of the Panthers, Leota, Fisher-Harris and Eisenhuth, tremendous start.
Eisenhuth in particular taking his chance to get a run on in the starting side. And as they'll play it here eventually with Lucas. Elliott to Hastings. 6 again is the call for the Panthers being too slow and getting off Dylan Lucas. And they can put some pressure here on the Panthers. Crossland from dummy half. Goes to Elliott, grabbing sideways, almost runs into his teammate in Lucas. Picked up maybe a couple of metres only. Saifiti, better run there. Underneath, nice stop by Hosking. Now Crossland, Elliott, Hastings, Ponga to the outside of Salmon. Gagai a chance, stumbling. Peachy had him herded towards the sideline. Ponga throws it infield as well. It comes back to Crossland. Here's a chance for Gamble now. He puts in a kick, chasing through. Best is there, getting back to clean up.
Brilliant.
Tremendous work.
Mitch Kenny, outstanding work from the dummy half. Recognised that it was Dylan Edwards who was downfield, putting some pressure on, trying to come up with the footy, and he just tucked himself in behind the line, followed the play, and was there to land on the ball at the right time as Best was pressing. Boy, that's an effort play from Mitch Kenny.
Big cover up with Best pouring down on top of him, and here he is from dummy half. Going to Edwards, Fisher-Harris charging hard. There's a round of applause from the home fans as Kenny comes back. It's Cogger to kick towards the corner. Ponga lets it skip past him, still going.
Oh, great.
Has to play it now. He can't take any more chances. Tries to beat Cogger. He won't beat Water, who gets a piece of him. Ponga still dancing. Eventually taken down by Hosking.
Yeah, great kick. He's not happy with himself there, Ponga. He was just baying for it to go over the dead ball line, following, tippy-toeing. No, sits up on him, and Cogger, well, he couldn't stay pace. Leota, what a chase from the big man. And just too many Panthers defenders there. And the Knights fullback just running out of options in the end. Short dropout though looming.
Time you run.
Well, he went black and the ball dropped in red on the roulette wheel there, and here he is dropping it out. Kick out towards Taruba, who makes the catch and goes to ground for fear of being driven into touch by either Hastings or Young. Peachy with a nice carry. Change of possession a couple of sets ago. We'll play it here inside the 20. He lost it, and it was helped out by the Knights. Tap it and go, Mick, or do you take a chance at 2?
This way there.
I'd keep going. Yeah, I feel like they've got some momentum. Newcastle's defence this year hasn't held up under big blocks of possession on their line, and that's how the Panthers suit Fisher Harris here.
He works it towards the Knights' defence. They'll begin this set just outside the Newcastle 10 as Kenny waits there at dummy half. Here is Eisenhuth. Leota down Main Street. Stop me if you can stuff. Good stop there by Thompson and also Crossland. Kenny comes across to Cogger. Salmon for Peachy here, tracking to the middle. Edwards sees some space. He beats Ponga. This tremendous fullback, Dylan Edwards, the #1 runner in the game for metres across the entire NRL. He opens the scoring here tonight. It's 4-0 to the Panthers.
Yeah, there's a number of times they've run this play where Cogger and Salmon have linked together and changed angles with Peachy and just pushing through the middle, as he always does. Never out of the contest, Dylan Edwards. He picks up his 9th try of the season, and his form just continues to get better and better every single week. The Penrith fullback, and you go back to the run it was from Moses Leota. And some of the sides in the competition, they like to go 1 or 2 plays to a certain field position to come back with the big strike play. Well, the run from Leota off the change of angle from Eisenhuth in the past was beyond violent. He just came out of a cannon looking to run over the top of any Newcastle player in his wake. And then on the back of that, they get a chance to move the footy and threaten. It is clinical stuff there from the Panthers attack. And the penalty and the option to go for the try instead of the 2 points proved pivotal.
Leota bent the line in the middle, attracted defence. They went back out to that left edge and then through the middle. The Knights try to scoot across the line to recover. From right in front, Cogger adds 2 points, and Penrith, the 2-time defending champs, off to a bright start here, James Hooper.
And all the build-up in the lead-up to the game, Warren, was about the battle of the fullbacks. Dylan Edwards up against Kalen Ponga, and it's Dylan Edwards, as you touched on. He leads the NRL for running metres. He also leads them for tackle busts. That's his 9th try of the season now in 15 games. He gets the opportunity to captain the Panthers tonight in the absence of Nathan Cleary and Isaiah Yeo. And off the back of Jack Cogger's kick and Newcastle fullback Kalen Ponga being trapped in gold, Penrith pounce.
Time you run.
So Ponga to get us back underway. See if he kicks down towards Jamin Salmon once again, which he does. In fact, Taruva will make the catch in the corner of the field. It's Fisher Harris to bring it back. I don't know what he earns exactly, Dylan Edwards, Mick, but boy, he must be one of the best value players in the NRL.
Moneyball stuff, isn't it?
Value for money is off the charts with Dylan Edwards.
Gosh, yes, he is. The type of bloke as a coach, you're so relieved when you walk in the dressing room and he's there every week. Here he is again, looking for metres around the ruck, shrugging off defenders. Just so reliable, and he's getting better.
27 years of age. He's off contract at the end of next year. His next deal might be a fair bit north of where he's at.
Inflation, Warren.
CPI. Kenny, it might be more than CPI for Dylan Edwards, trust me. Goes down to Greg Marju, who, as you mentioned, didn't miss the bus. He missed the game last week against the Roosters, having missed the bus the week before up there in Brisbane. And they were trying to return home after another narrow loss in what was an outstanding effort by the Newcastle Knights. Unlucky to lose that one, beaten by the brilliance of Walsh and Mam and Reynolds on that occasion. Gagai will play it here, just inside the Knights 40. Panthers by 6 as Crossman is flat to the middle. Elliott through Gamble, then Ponga, Bradman Best. Isaac Tungle with his hands full on this grandstand side in the first half. Now Gamble comes back to Elliott, showing it, but hanging on to it. And the Knights have one more play. Hastings waits at first receiver. Ports it up. Taruva floating backwards. It's a shallow one once again. It comes off the back of Tyson Frizzell. Play on here for the moment. Not knocked on.
Off Newcastle. Change over.
They ended up with the ball. There was no touch by the Panthers, and Crossland was tackled. And that'll be the changeover.
Yeah, it's a couple of times the Knights have gone the shallower kick over towards Taruva's side. That time just landing in no man's land, came off Dane Gagai. And a relatively cheap turnover there for the Panthers. Gee, I'm enjoying the battle at the moment between Bradman Best and Isaac Tungol, two robust, fast and athletic centres. And it's the side that Ponga loves to attack. We're going to see plenty of one-on-one battles tonight on this side of the field.
Scored a good try last week, didn't he, Bradman Best? 75 metres on a loose ball to a grandstand finish in that game against the Roosters. It's Kenny at dummy half. Cogger here trying to find a bit of space back through the middle. He poked his nose through the line as well. Was able to beat Lucas, but Crossman did the rest. Now Salmon. A bit of a wobbly old kick down towards Dominic Young, pushing through to Ruba, who he's outmatched as far as height and size over there on that far side of the field in the first half. But he's as game as they come. He'll be up in Dominic Young's face every chance he gets.
Yeah, just looking at the body language of some of the Newcastle players here, hands on hips, bending over, just gasping for air. It's been a fast and powerful start from the home side.
Put on there by Bradman Best. Coming midfield for a carry from his own end to help out in the forwards. As you say, Mick, just maybe catching their breath at the moment after a pretty frantic start. Ball has been in play a long time here. Kick from Hastings again, goes down to Edwards, who'll bring it back to a midfield situation, and the Panthers will begin here just inside their own 30. Jenkins, a little bobble. His heart and his mouth as it bounced away from his chest, got there in time. Now Tungor, good run there to beat Tyson Gamble, and take it back across the halfway line. Earliest moment for the rookie. And they call Milky out here in this right wing.
Look at this.
Leota again. He's had the same preparation, the same lunch and early dinner that Spencer Leniu quite often has.
Gravel.
Two great charges. Moses Leota to begin this game. Young
Pure
makes the
concrete
catch.
for lunch.
Something like that, I tell you. Between the two of them. They are something to stop.
Have a look at the Knights players.
Dylan
Here,
Lucas.
Look at them, hunched over, just gasping for air. Phoenix Crossland in particular. Leo Thompson out on their feet early. Warning signs for Newcastle as the Penrith side and Newcastle, in fact, perfect with the footy to start the game.
Both teams, in fact, as we said, the ball in play a lot here in the opening 15 minutes of this one at Bluebet Stadium. Second last play in this set. Work between the forwards there, Elliott and Saifiti. Last now for the Knights. Goes back to Hastings, who will kick longer this time. Edwards is there. He's got Jenkins. Should he want him or need him? But he will take the tackle. And the Panthers again begin just inside their own 40. It's set for set here at the moment. Early break made by the Panthers at the back of a penalty.
They're winning the battle, the outside backs of Penrith at the moment. Just getting 10 to 15 metres every time they're carrying the footy, and you can see already play 3 over the halfway line again.
Cogger scouting out to link up with Tungor, who will play it just outside the 40. Kenny. He finds Eisenhuth. Salmon here. Hands it off for Sorensen, pushing forward. Good work there by Thompson, but Sorensen into the backfield. Taken down by Crossland. Ponga helps out as well. One more for the Panthers. Salmon comes across to Peachy, who grubbers. Taruba pushing through. Ponga was there just in case.
Here you go back to that era, you know, in the early 2000s, mid-2000s, when it was Jamie Lyon out on that left-hand side for the Manly team, and he was able to find that 2 or 3 pass kick, and he's such an effective play. That time, Tyrone Peachy, beautiful skill, off the left boot. And again, Newcastle starting their set on their 10-metre line. Marzu just looking for a way through. Penrith, haven't they come out of a cannon to start this game?
Putting some real pressure on the Knights. To the Knights' credit, though, they have, apart from the one try scored by Edwards, hung on, managing at the moment to go set for set. But Penrith do this to teams and eventually suffocate them into making a mistake, as Crossland comes to Saifiti. Only a gain of 5 or so there for the front rower.
Set restart, this will help.
Certainly will. First back-to-back set for, or since Penrith scored, in fact. Gone set for set from that point on. Frizzell. Across the halfway line, it's an offload away to Crossland. Gamble is there. Shows it to Thompson. Finds Lucas. Pushing in. It's Tungor tracking back towards the middle of the field and made a good tackle. Crossland for Elliott here. Hastings now. Players in motion. Ponga is one of them. Cut out ball. Young takes on Edwards. Back to the middle. The pass was okay. And Ponga puts it down. The referee was right there. Ben Cummins had no issue with the ball back on the inside from Young to Ponga. And what a piece of play from the Knights fullback.
Yeah, beautiful work here from the Newcastle side. It's Elliott ball playing with Hastings, and that's exactly where they need to get Ponga the ball, on the outside of Salmon. Beautiful vision, great execution. Oh, buckle up. This is going to be a shootout. Two genuine superstar fullbacks going toe-to-toe this evening. Great skill from Kalen Ponga. The way in which he can move on the pass with his hips and get on the outside with that short acceleration on Salmon just left him clutching at thin air. And the speed and athleticism of Dong Young. The pass back on the inside, and Kalen Ponga. Well, what a hit back from Newcastle, who have been under immense pressure.
And some of the locals not happy about that last pass. You saw in the first replay, though, it was good. Backwards out of the hands, no question, from Dominic Young. That was spectacular in its own right. At speed like that, being tackled by Edwards. Keep his composure and fire it backwards to Kalen Ponga, who was there to finish off the work that he helped create down that right-hand side. Ponga didn't play in round 7. It was the final game that he was being rested from, and there's that angle again. That's a great pass there.
You're not sure what the Bucker are assessing here, just waiting for Jackson Hastings. There you go, finally confirmed. But boy, Adam O'Brien, won't he be impressed? You're right, the live footy that we've seen, the set-for-set football that the Panthers drag you into. They were on the verge of breaking point, Newcastle, I felt, and it was the set restart, just holding on a little longer. Ben Cummins opting for the set restart, about 3 or 4 tackles into that previous set. And then Newcastle out on that right edge. Ponga looking dangerous on both sides of the field, but it seems as though he's got his eye on Jamin Salmon on the left there for Penrith, who he's going to target tonight, and his sheer speed was just too much to handle. Great work from Ponga.
On beside the uprights, Jackson Hastings adds 2 points. We're locked up here at Penrith, 6-all.
Brilliant hit back from the Newcastle Knights, and it's this man, Dominic Young, and their superstar fullback, Kalen Ponga, who combined to produce the hot hand. We've spoken about this battle of the fullbacks. It is absolutely living up to the hype so far. And what about the completion rate from both sides? Absolutely perfect. The Panthers, 10 from 10. The Newcastle Knights, 9 from 9.
Nice mild afternoon out here in Penrith, certainly contributing, no doubt, to the football we're seeing. And I dare say at the moment, no dew on the ground. We haven't reached the dew point. It has been unseasonably warm at stages during this winter in Sydney. Off the back of a cold week, a cracking Saturday afternoon in the Golden West. What a night it is for the home fans and the Knights fans who've made the trek down the highway to see their team in action.
And now,
Need a win. They need to upset some of the bigger guns if they are to be in the finals in 2023. Chance tonight with so many stars missing for the Panthers. Elliott to Hastings. Ponga was out there once again looking for the ball, but it goes to Frizzell. Almost back to the 40. Crossman ducks in behind Elliott. It's a kick away. He might have spoiled his attempt there at a 40-20. Edwards straightens and will play it here just outside the 30.
Yeah, looking to kick early inside his 40. It was Phoenix Crossland, and it was Adam Elliott who just got in his road trying to get into that tight line behind the ruck. Made Crossland just have to duck behind him to get his kick away. As Taruga now bouncing with energy again through the ruck.
He works his way back to the halfway line where Kenny finds Fisher Harris. Stopped there by the Knights forwards. A change coming with Jacob Saifiti. Got to come into the game. Salmon, short ball there for Sorensen. It's an offload away. He's become an offload specialist, has Scott Sorensen. Cogger now in behind them. Goes to Hosking. Under pressure, the Knights. Leota, what a ball from Hosking. Salmon now tips it on. Fisher-Harris. Sorensen. Peachy. He stops. They get numbers there eventually. Desperate defence by Newcastle on that right-hand side. Down the short side, Kenny can't link up with the man he was looking at. Cogger, though, will kick across the field. Tungor up against Marju. And the man who warms up by bench-pressing grandstands makes a great catch.
He did well there, didn't he? Look at this. Marju at full stretch in competition there with Isaac Tungor. Great take from the Newcastle winger. Geez, they're just fighting and scrapping and holding on Newcastle, aren't they?
Penrith looks so dangerous on that previous set, working it through the offloads. Hosking a beauty off the back of what Sorensen had done to get the play underway on the left-hand side. They survive once again. Elliott it is at the 30. Here's Gamble off the right boot. Awkward kick there on this side of the field. Jenkins tracking back. He knew he had to make a play at that just in case. And as they've done numerous times since they scored that lone try there through Edwards, they begin somewhere around about the 30-metre line.
Lindsay Smith about to come into the action. Gee, I've been impressed with Lindsay Smith this year as Moses Leota gets a well-earned rest. Boy, it was a great start from Moses. And Smith out there now. Just watch his injection and the amount of work that he gets through.
8 runs by Leota for 70 metres. Boy, he made an impact. Smith will play it there in the middle of the field. Kenny to Edwards. Cogger was there, but the fullback hangs on to it. Loves that play 5 carry. To quick play the ball. It comes to Hosking off Cogger, who saw a bit of space. They take him down, and that will be the turnover.
He's been fined, hasn't he, Hosking? Out on this right-hand side, he's been so dangerous this year, and Cogger just looking to run the footy. I felt had they've gone through the hands there was some space on the outside of Best and Marju. But looking dangerous again tonight and getting through a mountain of work, Zach Hosking.
Both teams at this point, 11 sets completed from 11 possessions. Don't see that too many times. Hastings away to Ponga. Here's a chance. Gagai beat 2 down the sideline. Comes in field where Sorensen wraps him up. Nice work by the overlooked former Maroon. As Crossland bypasses everybody. It bounces off the shoulder there of Ponga. Goes backwards. Jacob Saifidi ends up with it. That wasn't part of the plan, and certainly hurt them at the back end of the set here, where Gamble has Ponga wrapping to the left-hand side. Shows it, what a hit! Tungor jamming in. There's a rib check. He just launched himself at the playmaker and said it goes no further, Kalen.
So tight and tucked and just sweeping on that ferocious line. A brave line from Ponga and Isaac Tungor. Just jamming in. What a shot that was. Rattled every bone in the body. And a penalty now to Ruva. That late footwork causing Phoenix Crossland a few dramas. He's in some dramas himself.
Back on his feet now, shoving away Penrith Panthers, who reached out there and might have got a bit of friendly fire from Adam Elliott. And we'll wait to see what the Newcastle Medico say about the contact there and the condition of Phoenix Crossland, who, as we speak, getting the standing 8 count from Craig Cattering.
Kurt Mann's on his feet on the sideline. He's just having conversations with Blake Green.
Right, Craig. Thanks, mate.
He might be injected into the game very shortly. Phoenix Crossland looked a little worse for wear.
Yes, Jarman, make sure on that mark.
24 tackles already. 24 tackles already for Phoenix Crossland. No wonder he's out on his feet.
What a job he's done. Jaden Brayley, of course, out for the season with that, again, a knee injury. He'll be back in 2024. Crossland has filled that number 9 jersey pretty well ever since. Fisher-Harris here, 30 out from the Knights line. Eisenhuth is back to the middle where it's Lindsay Smith who'll play it. Options either side. They're deep on this right edge in particular. Eisenhuth, Edwards, Tungor, Gets away from Crossland, bounces off the shoulder there of Elliott into the path of Jacob Saifiti. Quick play the ball. Kenny, he comes back through Fisher Harris. Great passing. Cogger, Salmon, away to Peachy. What play by Penrith. It doesn't get any better than that. On the left edge, it was something to watch. Catch and pass, spinning as they did at times. Fisher Harris in particular. Great piece of play here to be the link man. Throws it out the back. Cogger threaded the needle. Salmon, Sorensen, on to Peachy. What a four-pointer.
Boy, that's hours and hours and hours of small skill practice. That is beautiful to watch, and great reaction from Kenny. Out of dummy half, it was a great play the ball again from Isaac Tungor, and then out to their left-hand side. Newcastle, well, they had all jammed in trying to shut the play down, which left space on the outside, and the catch and pass, spectacular from the individuals from Penrith to get the ball out to Peachy. Great work from Fisher Harris to keep it alive. The work from Cogger was beautiful. And Penrith, well, I think I said earlier, clinical. Well, their attack, again, very, very sharp.
Penrith have had 2 penalties in the game, and they've scored off the back of both of them. Yeah. Their only repeat sets for the game have led to tries. Only there for the Knights as far as their resilience is concerned. They've been able to go set for set. Their defence has been fine. Pressure there. The Panthers produce a special piece of play to unpick them on that left-hand side. Peachy filling in, of course, on that left-hand side tonight with Stephen Crichton out of action. Tungor moving to the right-hand side. Fisher Harris, well, he didn't know where Hastings was, but he just sensed the pass was on, and he took a chance, and it was a beauty.
So much shape from Penrith over the last 2 years comes off the back of Nathan Cleary, Isaiah Yeo in particular, and Jerome Luai. There's Nathan sitting there. Spoke to him earlier. He said that his body's coming along really well. But the involvement and the growth out of Mitch Kenny and Dylan Edwards in their absence over the last couple of weeks, boy, they're in a great position, Penrith. They really are.
They lead again by 4 off the back of the misconversion. It's Salmon who hands it off, and Lindsay Smith will bring it out here to play it eventually around about the 10-metre line for the Panthers. Knights still to have a tackle inside the red zone. Of course, they do have the 1 try scored from around about the halfway line where Ponga and Young combine so beautifully. Hoskin. Solid contact there as he brings it back beyond the 30.
Yeah, nice.
Short side now. Cogger with room to move. They weren't ready for that.
Gee, he was hit late there, was he? Was it Hetherington on Cogger?
Fresh on the field is Jack Hetherington in the 16 jersey. They come back to this right-hand side. Cogger is okay. Bumped to the ground there by Elliott. Play on, says the referee. Arju. Impetus there, and he takes the tackle just outside his 10. Watches again. Yeah, he was.
Whiz.
That certainly could have been easily a penalty.
How do they miss that?
Late and on the borderline of being high for a player who's had, especially earlier in his career, which began right here at the foot of the mountains in the NRL. There's a lot of games through suspension in those early few seasons.
Straight to his feet too. Tough little rooster as we see Phoenix Crossland come from the field for the first time. Kurt Mann there out of dummy half. We see a strong carry from the man we just discussed, Hetherington.
Mann is there, and Ponga from just outside the 40. Something of a midfield bomb here. Pressure on Jenkins, who flies. Tapped backwards by Gamble. Still the last. Ball out the back was clever by Elliott. Second kick from Hastings. Always an issue. Young, it looked good until Gagai put it down.
Bring him in. Bring him in there.
Smart vision there from Jackson Hastings. Ben Cummins here just resetting the play. It was great vision from Hastings to kick across the Young, and Taruba just allowing him to catch the ball. And Gagai, you're right, just couldn't hang on to it as we see the home fans up and about. Spencer Leniu, that's why he's come onto the field. Here we go.
The Knights defence just gone to DEFCON 5. Yeah. Spencer getting loose, ready for a couple of earth-shattering carries. Taruva playing it. Here is Leniu. He'll be off to the Roosters in 2024. Had that dust up with his future teammates 2 weeks ago. Ball back on the inside from Cogger. Edwards is there, but he's held up pretty nicely in the tackle by Lucas and also Saifiti. Eisenhuth in the yo roll. Cogger for Sorensen.
They're troubling him with those change of angles back through the ruck.
They go left, they come back to the middle, and they've created chances. Here's Jenkins up against Maju. Play on for the moment. Ponga tried to tip it out the back to Bradman Best. Boy, that was a chance taken there by Kalen Ponga. He thought Best was a chance if he could get it to him.
I thought Jenkins touched that there. I thought it came off the left hand of Jenkins.
Well, that could have gone absolutely everywhere. Did he touch it, Jenkins? Play on, according to the referee, and then Ponga did that, thinking Best might be able to catch it and bring it back to avoid a goal line dropout. No advice from the bunker as far as a change of decision here. Or is Ben Cummins walking back out? Yes, he is.
Whereabouts?
They've had a look and determined that Tom Jenkins got a left hand on that in the contest with Maju.
Right there, mate.
And it will be the Knights who work it away from their 10.
Right there.
Yeah, it's the right call. Bunker overturning the decision of Ben Cummins. But again, look where Newcastle start their set. 10 metres out from their line. It's just been suffocating this first half, hasn't it? The field position in particular, 61% with Penrith down in Newcastle's half. Astonishing.
Here's Bradman Best. He's got looks to be a nasty gash on his back. He's got blood, it would seem, pouring through that jersey up on the right-hand side of his back. Working his way out here to the left-hand side for the moment. We'll come back to that as Hastings tries to stay alive here in the play. There it is. A nasty gash on that right-hand side of his back. Here's Frizzell putting his nose through the line there, almost away the tackle of Kenny. Plays it quickly enough from Hastings. These midfield bombs, they're persisting with them. Edwards didn't get a clean crack at it. He was taken out of it by Dane Gagai.
Yeah, it's the right call. Again, that shallow kick, trying to bring Edwards forward to collision, and Gagai just comes through and makes contact with Edwards, taking away his ability to come down with the foot. He bumps him off the contest. And Ben Cummins all over that, and they've had some success. You mentioned earlier, Warren, on the back of penalties, 2 tries this evening on the back of penalties. Can they get another?
Third of the game right here. Salmon hands it off. The Panthers will begin just on their own side of halfway. They'll play it through Scott Sorensen. Here's Smith off the right foot. He had Saifiti under pressure there. Frizzell closes the door though. Kenny through Eisenhuth. He's tipping it on to Leniu, who was met pretty quickly by Kurt Mann. Line speed there from the Knights. Cogger to the right, comes back to the middle. Edwards again. The pattern persists. Sorensen on the loose ball, not tackled. Salmon finds Peachy. Stop and start effort against Dane Gagai. And just like that, they're outside the 10. 2 plays left in this set. Salmon comes back to Cogger. He'll find Eisenhuth. Cut out ball. Hosking, quick hand. Tungor up against Gamble it was able to beat him. Good work by Best and also Jacob Saifiti. Last play. Goes deep to Cogger, who will kick it under pressure. Chance out wide. Peachy was there. It falls for Ponga, in fact. The referee with a whistle in mouth.
We'll check it, mate. We'll check it.
He will say it's a knock-on initially there against the Knights.
Just watch the effort here of Tyrone Peachy, just winding back the clock. The veteran under pressure. Cogger had to rush the kick, so it's a fraction deep. But Peachy just competing hard, making it uneasy for the Knights. Kalen Ponga just allowing time for the bunker to check this.
Hoping there was a
See
touch
too much wrong
by
with the
Peachy.
Okay, hold there. Hold there.
The whistle.
No, we're still here. Just say it over time.
And Kalen Ponga, unfortunately, he's told he's going to drop it out. An awkward one here to handle. Young off the bouncing ball. Fires it backwards. Cleaned up here, and Tyrone Peachy A swan drive to score the Panthers' third. Well, it was a brilliant piece of play by Young initially, but scrambling back, the Knights couldn't clean it up. And Tyrone Peachey could scarcely believe his eyes.
He's not having much luck with his hands tonight, Dane Gagai. The short restart from Ponga. Look at the work here from Dom Young over the top of Taruva. Lobs it back in behind the play, and then Gagai just makes an absolute meal of it. And look at the amount of Panthers jerseys around the footy compared to Newcastle. Watch this. Ball thrown backwards. Look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4. All around the footy. And the swan dive. And again, on the back of restarts, they are having some success tonight and just suffocating the Newcastle Knights down on their try line. And Tyrone Peachey finds a nice 4-pointer.
He was always going to be a handy pickup, wasn't he,
Yeah,
making that move from the West Tigers? You figured he would play a lot of game time, given the origin stars they have at Penrith, and injuries as well. He can play in the back row, he can play in the middle of the field, he can play on an edge in the centres, as he is tonight, quite obviously. And now his second try, and what is his 7th appearance for the season. A very handy pickup, and I dare say at a bargain discount rate.
Absolutely. Always loved what Tyrone Peachey brings to a footy side. And he looked down on confidence in his time at the Tigers. It was an unhappy stint. And some things just look right in our game, and he looks right back at Penrith. He's playing some great football. Cleary's instilled confidence in him, and you're right, the luxury of having someone at the back end of the season who gets a couple of games under their belt, has some nice moments like he's had in the games and the opportunities, because he can play so many positions. And in this day and age, someone with that utility value that Peachey brings is so handy.
And now Cogger just dabs one between the posts. It's a handy lead here for the Panthers, with plenty of origin stars missing here this evening. They lead the Knights 16-6.
And that makes it 6 tries in 7 games for this man, Tyrone Peachey. What a handy pickup he has been for the Panthers. Of course, he started his career at the foot of the mountains, played New South Wales State of Origin, decided to shift up to the Gold Coast Titans. That didn't work out, went to the West Tigers. Now he finds himself back at Penrith in game number 199 tonight, and that's his second double for the year. His first was against the Roosters in round 11. Very handy pickup.
Absolutely. 2 tries before half-time here. We're 4 minutes out from the break, of course. Bonnie and the boys to take a look at this first 40 minutes in a few moments' time. And then, of course, also preview
Great
clash
tackle here.
beyond
Really
this one
good
between
tackle.
the Storm and the Seagulls, Mick.
Yeah, absolutely. The Battle of Brookvale, it's on again.
Down there at Amy Park, this version tonight, following this clash between the Panthers and also the Knights.
Yeah, there's a couple of rivalries every year, isn't there, where there's genuine hatred, and the next one coming up tonight, the Manly-Melbourne game. He's certainly one of those.
Doesn't matter who's filling the jerseys, it's always must-see viewing, as Cogger here from around about the 40 lobs it down to the arms of Marju. He'll bring it back. Strong carry there. He puts Spencer Leniu on the seat of his pants. Not many can do that. Boy, he's a solidly built winger.
Yeah, good is he?
Man, back through the middle, Jacob Saifidi. He's backing his way into that Penrith defensive line. Again, the Panthers banking points off the back of the penalty, and then a goal line dropout. Best stuttering step as he loses the ball in the tackle. In fact, Cogger quickly counter-attack. They spread it away to Salmon. He had Peachey out there again. Surely bellowing for the ball, Tyrone Peachey, the form he's in here tonight. Now Taruva brings it back. Cogger was thereabouts and might have helped it out there. Maybe a bit unlucky, the Newcastle Knights. Referee nor the sideline official didn't see that.
There's a lot of blood coming out the back of his jersey. Set restart, no penalty.
No, get out of it.
Yeah, just getting in a slinging match with Hetherington.
See that contact there by Jack Hetherington?
Oh, yeah, they want to look at this.
On the ground, mate, yep.
The much suspended Jack Hetherington. His form and his discipline has improved dramatically over the past couple of seasons. Let's wait and see what happens in here. The little slap there for his trouble. Didn't think too much of that. Then didn't see a lot happening just then. Was it before that, perhaps?
Okay, mate.
It is Hetherington going to be called out by Ben Cummins.
You slap him in the face.
And it is going to be 10 in the sin bin. Jack Hetherington sits down for 10, and the Knights already down by 10 points. Now down to 12 either side of half-time. Here it is with Tungor. Gives him that one right across the left ear hole. And the bunker and the referee are having none of that. And he's left his team short-handed.
Yeah, that's poor discipline there from Hetherington. He got a little clip from Tungor and just slashed out. And a big moment now for Newcastle. 2 minutes until half-time.
Feels like it's imperative they just have to find a way to hang on here for the moment. Kenny on that left-hand side. Links up with Sorensen.
Stacked out to this right-hand side, Penrith.
Such depth once again. They're pretty compressed as well. Here is Eisenhuth, very much in the yo roll. Ball back on the inside for Hosking. Loving that play. A bit of width and then trying to find a little jink back in the middle. Eisenhuth, Kenny. Now Sorensen showing it. Connor was up there in the front line looking for an intercept. Sorensen not held. Play on. Salmon. Ball sits up here for Taruba, who sets sail for the line. He's taken down just. Frizzell was there to stop him. A metre out. Comes back from Salmon. There's Cogger again. Eisenhuth. Look at him ball play. Edwards. Tungor. Jenkins was there. Didn't get a chance. He had Marju in front of him, so Tungor hangs on to it. Still 5 metres out. On the last. Goes back to Cogger, who kicks again. Sorensen on the chase. Young is there, though, who beats everybody to it. The Knights have done well defensively in that set. On a quick tap here, it's Marju. Tries to split the Panthers open.
Yeah, he'll need to rethink that, Jack Cogger. If he kicks too long towards that side of the field, this man's just too good in the air, too big, too athletic for Sunia Taruva. Just needs to land it a little shorter, like he did the previous one for Tyrone Peachy and Jamin Salmon, somewhere in the vicinity of Jackson Hastings. That's a better kick option.
Connor again on this left-hand side. They'll have time barely for one more play. Man, fires it across to Elliott. What's the trick shot here from Hastings? Stepping, he'll be wrapped up though, and the siren will sound. And that will end the first 40 minutes. A half in which the two-time defending champs lead 3 tries to 1 and 16 points to 6.
On the trajectory for another 10 out of 10, Dylan Edwards.
Now, he has been outstanding, as have the Panthers, who did not make a mistake in the first half. 21 completed sets from 21 possessions. It's the Knights with first use of it here off the recommencement. And Jacob Saifidi it is who'll play it just outside the Knights 10. Adam Elliott. Strong carry there, looking for a quick play the ball. The left-hand side they go, where Lucas it is, putting his hand up for a run. Kurt Mann, the backup dummy half of Phoenix Crossland. Scampers from that position. Quickish play the ball as well. Frizzell, it's the back of his efforts for New South Wales on Wednesday night at Suncorp Stadium is here just across the halfway line. Hastings. Well, with lots of midfield bombs in the first half. Deeper kick here. Edwards will bring it back. He stopped down a nice shot by Kurt Mann. Wraps him up inside the 20. We'll see if they go with a bit more depth on their kicks after the Panthers had lots of sets that began around about the 30-metre zone or thereabouts, and here they are. It's taken them 3 plays to get back to that point of the field on this first kick from Hastings. Kenny on that right-hand side. Isaac Tungor, the carrier of the ball, and as we saw, he can really whack in defence as well. Eisenhuth for Leniu. Almost back at the halfway line. This will be the final tackle in this set for the Panthers. Cogger runs a long way, goes to Hosking, who comes back to the middle. Stopped there by Tyson Gamble, and the Panthers don't get to a kick. Second time we've seen that, with Hosking dying with the ball.
He's in a bit of trouble here, Hosking. As we inspect what's happened here, if you've just joined us tonight, it's
Tyson, he's just hit his head hard on the ground, I think, mate.
Jack Hetherington that's in the sin bin. Newcastle still down to 12 men. On the last tackle, you can see here it's Hetherington cutting back on the inside of Best.
Tyson, I'm just letting you know,
It's
mate,
just
okay?
a brush of a knee by the looks of things. Accidental.
Let's just come back here, mate. It's fine, Tyson. It just...
Blood flowing now from the ear or around about that region. And
Tyson,
he will come
wait for
from
the
the
whistle and then we'll
field
start, mate.
for the full HIA in the Panthers dressing room.
Yeah, looks like he's got
Spencer.
a cut on the back of the head, no doubt. Needed a number of stitches. Here it is. He just shows on the outside, gets on the inside of... Yeah, there you see, he got on the inside of Tyson Gamble, just caught the knee of Elliott as he went past him.
Looks to be in better shape there, working back across the sideline. It's a nice hand from the Panthers fans. There'll be a change on that right edge for Penrith.
It's Luke Garner that's gone onto the field, onto that right-hand side.
It's a like-for-like swap, the former Tiger. Back out here at the foot of the mountains. There's Hastings. Finds Ponga, short ball there. Lucas trying to push through a hole, but well wrapped up by Tungor and also Luke Garner. Hastings again. Goes out to Bradman Best. Looks like a new jersey for Best after he was soaked in blood. Back end of that first half from a scratch or an issue on his back. Now Young works towards Peachy. They've got him going towards the sideline. Dumped it back in field, and Peachy's there again. Another time he picks up a loose ball from Dominic Young, having scored a try in a similar situations in the first half.
Yeah, well, both sides were tested there on the edges, and both came up trumps. So that was great work there from Peachy and Taruba. Conditions, dew starting to come on the ground. Getting a little colder here at the foot of the mountain, and you could just see that was great awareness from Taruba to drag him for Peachy to pick up the ball. Good turnover from Penrith as Salmon now works it up towards the halfway line.
3 minutes gone in this second half. The Knights still down to 12 men with Jack Hetherington in the sin bin for another 5 minutes as Ponga looks one way, comes back to be wrapped up there by Gunner, and we go down to a halftime report from James Hooper.
Panthers coach Ivan Cleary super impressed with the intensity and the effort that the Premiers began that game with. Just wants to see a similar level of control in the second half for the Knights. Adam O'Brien was cranky about the fact that they dropped off a little bit in terms of their kick chase. They weren't getting as many numbers in the frame as what the Premiers were. And also, just on Bradman Best, all that blood that was all over the back of his jumper, it's actually from a burst mole, Warren.
Oh, he's got the ball here again, Gagai. Boy, he's had a tough night with his hands. The battle with the experience of Tyrone Peachy, you can see they're both up and aggressive. He goes to ground, and then it's Lindsay Smith, and Peachy comes again, dislodges the ball.
20 here. Clock's on.
And Adam O'Brien, furious with the turnover, and Penrith, when they had their opportunities in the first half on the back of repeat sets or set restarts, they came up with points.
Yeah, they were ruthless. There is Jack Hetherington, like a caged tiger, but prowling the dressing room. Sent to the sin bin for the slapping, cuffing motion. Zach Tungor at the end of the first half. First play here. Cogger goes with a kick. Coming down with it. It is Tungor. Wrapped up here just by the Knights. What a chance taken there by the Panthers on play number 1. And Tungor comes down with it. Almost scores a try. Lenu stepping in traffic here from close range.
Set deep to this left-hand side.
It's Eisenhuth. Tremendous job filling the role normally occupied by Isaiah Yeo. Ball playing has been first class. Kenny goes back to the right edge. Lenu, no big charge there from him. Standing start, tries to beat Kurt Mann, couldn't do so. Here's Kenny. Comes across to Cogger. Salmon showing it to Sorensen. He's a big body, Jamin Salmon. And he's stopped there by Frizzell and Elliott, but only just. There's a player taken off the ball here.
Yeah, Sorensen. It was Salmon that straightened. He had a chance to play out the back to Tyrone Peachy. There was points on offer had he have found a pass out the back. He took the line on, tried to shrug off Elliott, and it was Tyson Frizzell that came in collision with Scotty Sorensen.
Just saw the chance there for a cheapie right across the chest of Sorensen and gave away a penalty. And the Panthers have been 100 out of 100 as far as scoring off penalties here in this game. Yet to make a mistake with their hands. They're 24 from 24. Kenny goes to Lindsay Smith, runs to Frizzell. He'll play it barely a metre out, maybe 10 centimetres out by the time he plays the ball. Kenny to the short side again. Cogger's there. So is Salmon. Taruva, nothing doing. So the winger comes back to the middle. Cogger's there. Said restart here for the Panthers, and Edwards will take the tackle just outside the 10. Big chance to blow the scoreline wide open. Salmon, Peachy looking for a hat-trick after the first half double. Still up against 12 men here for another 60 seconds just beyond. Kenny finds Eisenhuth. Throws it back for Spencer Lenu. Got through the tackle there, a man. He's stopped by Frizzell and Saifidi. Kenny for Cogger. Here is Salmon again. Good hands. Peachy. Taruva stops, goes, steps his way into space. Beat Ponga. Couldn't beat the last defender. Another set restart though. So 4 sets in a row here for the Panthers. Off the back of the scrum. Remembering Cogger put in a kick on play number 1. And at the end of it all, Jamin Salmon from dummy half barely goes 50 centimetres and scores for the Panthers.
Yeah, this left-hand side running right tonight for Penrith, and it's Jamin Salmon from close range. Boy, the skill out to the left-hand side that found Taruva. And it was the little chip kick from Jack Cogger off the scrum. Real heads-up play. Tungo did well to come up with the footy. And then it's just been an enormous block with possession down on their line. Gagai caught on the ground. And there you see Jamin Salmon just burrowing in low. Scotty Sorensen's enjoying it. Gagai's slow to get off his feet, and Salmon just swoops. Now, does he get the ball down?
Well, does he burrow through the legs of the man who played the ball? And given what we saw just there, you could make a case that he does.
He could. He kind of doesn't go through the legs. He goes through one leg.
He certainly takes one leg off the ground. And the bunker, with that end-on view in particular, could take a look at that and say to Ben Cummins, we might just take a look at that once again. See what they come up with here. See how strict in the interpretation they want to be. Watch it again.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't think he's gone straight through the legs or used the body of Taruva. I think he's tried to go to the side. He's just clipped the calf, the left calf of Sunia Taruva. And Jamin Salmon picks up a handy 4-pointer. Certainly not their most spectacular of the night, but an important one.
Jamin Salmon walks back on the inside of halfway. Kalen Ponga having quite a bit to say to Ben Cummins. No doubt about some of those set restarts, but perhaps about the non-call on Salmon going through the legs there of Taruva.
Some of the catch and pass tonight, Warren, has just been sensational, hasn't it? For this time of the year. Like the catch and pass skill from Penrith, their individuals on the edges, has been brilliant.
It's not exactly their first-rate lineup, is it? With 5 Origin stars missing, but they've all filled in magnificently. Cogger misses to the left-hand side on a very kickable 2 points there. It stays at 20 points to 6, James Hooper.
And Tito Taruva, Warren, what an attacking weapon he is on this left edge. 13 tackle busts last week against the Cowboys, and you can see here, just with the light feet and the evasion, gets around Kalen Ponga, taken down here, and then Jamin Salmon filling in the halves because Jerome Luai has been ruled out after State of Origin duty, and he gets over for the try. And just as he gets over, Jack Hetherington gets back on out of the sin bin for the Newcastle Knights.
They had done well, the Knights, to hang on until almost the point where Hetherington returns to the field. Well, he's missing the Panthers score that try through Jamin Salmon. They lead 20 points to 6. Half an hour remaining here before we go south to Amy Park, and a big carry there by Leniu. Gets the set going because off the back of it, Eisenhuth in a running roll this time. He picks up 12 metres plus, and then once again they're pouring through holes. Luke Garner, Leniu for Eisenhuth, then Garner. Here's Edwards now. Across to Tungor, he finds some space. Look at these metres off the restart.
Yeah, they're getting going here, Penrith.
From Jenkins, it goes to Cogger. And Salmon, he'll kick wide. A chance for Sorensen. Gagai is there. He passes it off to Young.
Brilliant.
They'll trap him, and they've gone the length of the field to force a goal line dropout. But the chasers have been called offside.
Gee, what a set from Penrith. It started with a ferocious, violent run from Spencer Leniu. And on the back of it, great work from Kenny out of acting half, engaging the markers and getting Luke Garner downfield. And then trapping Dominic Young in goal. Ben Cummins dooming them to be offside. And boy, is that a relieving penalty for the Newcastle Knights, who are on the ropes.
They certainly were in that set until they got the penalty. One of the chasers being offside. Hetherington brings it back here to almost the 40. Plays it for Mann. Now Elliott on that left-hand side. Good contact. Cogger down low. Terrific stop on Dylan Lucas there. Elliott. He finds Hastings. Wrapping was Gamble, linking up with Gagai, but Taruva, he jams in. I don't know what happens next year when Taylor May returns from his injury, the ACL tear, of course, which will rule him out for the entire 2023 season. They're flush for outside back options, the Panthers. Gamble, he puts it up. Edwards here stands underneath it, fends away from Tyson Frizzell, and they begin inside their 20. And they are still to make a mistake with their hands.
Incredible. 28 from 28 sets as we see Sonny Luke into the action now, and what a time to bring him on. Such a weapon around the ruck. As they go for an early shift out towards Isaac Tungor, Matt Eisenhuth getting a well-deserved rest for the first time this evening.
They've completed these sets as long as though they've stuck the ball up their jumper by any stretch. They haven't been conservative. They've been going sideline to sideline, making it sing at times. And here they are again. Leniu with a big right fend gets away from Gagai, tracking back with him.
Still
Hastings, well, he needed help. He wasn't stopped. Yes, he was. And this one is going to be passed off the ground. They give away a penalty and finally don't get to the end of a set of 6.
Yeah, rampaging run. Big right-hand fend. Gets rid of Gagai. Got out of the grasp there of Hastings. And yeah, no doubt, passing off the ground. Newcastle now with an opportunity inside Penrith's half. Boy, it's been a long time since they've been down there.
They are still to have a play the ball inside the red zone in this game. Hetherington here is only 20 away from the 20, so we'll see if they can force their way in for the first time right here. Ponga to Gagai, bouncing off defenders. They're almost there. Hallowed land of the inside the 20 red zone.
Here we go.
Finally have their first play the ball for the game through Hetherington. Hastings puts across to Gamble. Big fend there from Best, fires it out the back. There was a touch by Jenkins. It'll go into touch. And the Knights will get 6 more tackles.
Where would you like to play the ball?
Big fend there from Best, trying to lob the ball back. Came off the head of Sonny Luke. And then just a little touch there it was from Jenkins. And Newcastle now, well, they'll get a full set inside the 20-metre zone of the Panthers. And a great test, one I think that Ivan Cleary will enjoy. A bit of possession down on his line to see how his side responds.
So Zach Hosking there alongside Matt Eisenhuth. He's passed his HIA, is the word from the Panthers bench. As Hastings here goes to Hetherington, taking some stopping. Around the legs was Spencer Leniu. Back to the left room, man, then Hastings, a dummy, they've cracked them. They've got them. They finally found the red zone, and they have points off the back of it.
His first line break and first try of the season. Jackson Hastings from close range just gets Lindsay Smith going sideways. Dylan Edwards had just anticipated that the play would go to the long side, and that left some space just wide of the ruck. Great work from Hastings. Gee, they needed that, Newcastle. And the Knights halfback gets his first try of the season, and it could be an important one.
Handy piece of work. As you said, the drought is over. Jackson Hastings, the first try of the season, and a kick from beside the uprights here to make this an 8-point game. They were down 18 points to 6 last week with 25 to go against the Roosters, and made that a nip and tuck affair at the finish.
Certainly not out of this one. It was so important that they found that try. It had to be next. It just had to be.
Have to convert all these chances, which Hastings does, and it's 20 points to 12. Don't forget, there is Jerome Luai, Brian To'o, Stephen Crichton on the bench, yucking it up at the moment. And will they be there for Origin 3? We'll wait and see after the Maroons, of course, wrapped up the series on Wednesday night at Suncorp Stadium. You can be there at Accor Stadium on July 12. Go to nrl.com/tickets. See if the Blues can save a little bit of face after going down in back-to-back series against the might of Queensland Maroons. What might be the dawn of a new era, Mick? And that was tough for you watching it on Wednesday night.
Still recovering, was. Still recovering. And it's been a tough couple of weeks as a New South Welshman, that's for sure.
Nova Castrians can do right here as Hetherington brings it
Certainly
back to
brought something, Jack Hetherington, since coming back onto the field. This man's tried hard tonight too. Adam Elliott worked really hard through the middle.
8 the difference, 24 minutes or just under left in the game. Oodles of time for the Knights as Frizzell brings it back to almost the halfway line here. He'll play it for man. Goes across to Elliott. Gamble, little no-looker. Charging hard, Dylan Lucas. Playing the centres at a pinch. Back rower these days, though, as Ponga puts it in the air. Not a deep one. Edwards coming forward. He eats those up. He's had 3 or 4 of those so far in the game and hasn't looked like dropping one.
Well, it's a kick that's become highly popular in our game, this kick that drags the fullback towards the collision, but it just doesn't work against someone as tenacious and as good as Dylan Edwards. They're just giving away 20 metres every time they kick the ball. And then starting their set again on the 30-metre line. Now Taruba up towards halfway as we see James Fisher-Harris back into the action, and Spencer Leniu getting a rest.
Here is Peachy, the last play. JFH there, ready for action as Cogger puts it deep. Now, shallow one from the Penrith halfback. Marju brings it back. Taking a little time to sum up the situation on those kick returns. He rarely just puts the foot down and goes hard at them in the backfield. There's a problem here for Jacob Saifidi, who's being helped from the field. So an issue for the Knights forward rotation potentially here. We'll bring you more on that as Marju takes a carry back to the 40. Daniel Saifidi is back on deck, takes the place of his brother. Good stop by Taruba there on Dane Gagai. 4 plays gone. Here is Daniel Saifidi. Strong run there. Takes him inside the 40. Jacob looks to be a little bit better there on the bench. As Hastings puts it up, and there it is again. Almost a rugby union style kick. Ponga taps it backwards. Not touched by the Panthers, still the last. Gamble puts in a second kick, turns Jenkins and Edwards around. The bounce was a friendly one for Edwards. He picks it up, returns, brings it back beyond the 20. Still going. What a carry by this star fullback.
Yeah, what a play. Nice work there from Kalen Ponga, getting up, competing for the ball. And then Edwards, who had to track all the way across field from the first collision, gets on the outside of Bradman Best, did the pirouette on him and raced 30 metres upfield. Boy, he's having a good night again, Dylan Edwards.
Tungor here, stepping back through the middle. Wrapped up by Jack Hetherington. We'll see how nicely they play together this time. All good. All good pass there on the right-hand side. Well handled, though, by Lindsay Smith. Big meters here for the Panthers, who began inside their own in-goal. Luke dancing out from dummy half, has recently extended his contract with the Panthers. Cogger to the line, trying to pass back on the inside. Sutherland was well wrapped up there, so Edwards hoofs it across the field. Young under pressure. Taruba! He picked his pockets. Young took his eyes off the man lurking around the back, and Taruba, with the pressure he put on, the much taller winger, ended up with the ball and dives in to score.
Yeah, as good as it looks for the tenacious little winger, I think he's knocked it on into the back of Dominic Young. It was a good crossfield kick from Dylan Edwards. And trying to climb up above the big Englishman.
First, just looking to see who
comes off the shoulder and touches the arm of Taruva.
There's a touch the dreadlocks of Young. Does that constitute a knock-on? If it touches the dreads, is that a knock-on?
Off the beads. Into...
Just looking to see if Dom Young knocks
roll it on here and see where the ball next bounces.
I think it hits the bicep of Sunia Taruva into the back of Dominic Young.
Play on from
Dom
here.
Young initially knocks the ball on into Sunia Taruva.
And then it does. So
Sunia Taruva then knocks the ball into the back.
No try, but a knock-on.
Constituting a double knock-on.
Against the Jamaican/Englishman. And they stay 8 points behind for the moment.
Yeah, thank you. Both ways. It's off you guys first, so they'll have a scrum feed. I didn't see Jackson. Where would you like the scrum?
The Panthers will get possession here.
Sorry, Jackson.
Scrum, and they'll choose to pack it. The long right-hand side at the hash marks on this left-hand side of the field.
Congested they are. Look at the Jack Cogger here, just talking to the Panthers attackers as the messages come from that man there, Ivan Cleary. Nathan just watching on.
Sonny, I need you in. I need you down here.
A bit more of a conventional shape now on that right-hand side from the Panthers after they were having a chat about what they're going to put on here from the scrum win. Here's Cogger showing it, trying to trick everybody just by going on his own. Man was there with some help from Ponga. Luke out of dummy half, shows it to Fisher Harris. Lindsay Smith at dummy half. Bypasses Garner to go to Cogger. Here's Edwards. Tungor stops. Goes again. Tries to duck under the left arm there.
Offload.
Side feet, he does well. Sony Luke. Ponga comes up and closes the door with Hetherington as well. Good offload there. Smith. Salmon now. Width on this particular set so far from the Panthers. It's all been through the middle. Catch the Knights out perhaps. Long right-hand side now for Ponga. He comes out here for Smith. Trying to spin his way in. They'll hold him up though. He gets into the in-goal area. They hold him up, and Penrith will have one more play.
Markers. Yeah, just there, mate. Hold there.
Come back to play at 10 metres out, midway through this second half, leading by 8. What's the option? Garner to Cogger, who grubbers, pushing through. It's going to be too big, or was it? Play on. Young picks it up. There might be a problem here for the Panthers. Young, it looked like he put a foot on the line, and a delayed call from the sideline official who puts the flag
scored his first try of the season. Penrith now with a full set.
Off the efforts there of Jack Hogger, filling in for Nathan Cleary. What a job he's done. Forming the role that Sean O'Sullivan feels to great effect in 2022 in that second run to a premiership for the Panthers. Fisher Harris right down the middle. Ponga was there. He launched himself at Fisher Harris. Now Luke for Cogger. Garner cutting back towards the middle against the grain. He'll play it about 5 out from the Knights line. 4 tackles gone. Luke, flat pass there. Fisher Harris on it, back his way in this time. Looking for his first try of the season. He went close. Cogger holds it up. Salmon, Grubbers. Ponga slips over. Frizzell shields the ball beyond the dead ball line. And the Knights bring it back out for a 7-tackle set.
Yeah, did well there, Newcastle, to repel the Panthers' attack there. Plenty of ball movement again. Look at the shot there from Kalen Ponga. Just no respect for his body, like a missile on Fisher Harris. Trying to inspire his teammates. Kalen Ponga.
If you were wondering if that concussion issue he's had for a couple of seasons now is at the back of his mind, I dare say, given what we just saw, it's not.
Yep. No, that was tough from Ponga. He's Croker now. He's often a game breaker, Croker. He's got some footy in him. He can promote the ball play, offload. Out there now for Newcastle.
They wait a long time to get a chance, though, in this game. More than an hour gone. Here's a one-on-one steal by Peachy. Taruva's there with him. Crossland makes sure he can't link up with his winger. But a steal, a smile, a nudge and a wink. And then Taruva, he finds Edwards. Numbers here on this right-hand side from sideline to sideline. Tungle ducks under the tackle there at best. Just outside the 20. Tackles the burn here from close range. Edwards. He'll find Garner. He takes it forward where he's cut down there by Kurt Mann. Here's Smith. Fisher Harris there with him. Comes out the back to Salmon. Then Sorensen runs into Croker. Staying on his feet a long while there before they take him to ground on tackle number 4. Here's Cogger. Looks in, plays out. Edwards to Garner. Well stopped there by Tyson Gamble. Now Luke from dummy half. Grubbers, a ricochet. It ends up in the arms there of Daniel Saifidi. The Panthers thought he might have been offside. Referee disagreed. He'd got back beyond the point where the ball was first touched. A teammate there. Watch this again. The steal by Peachy just before Taruva gets there to help out in the tackle.
He's done a great job tonight on Dane Gagai, hasn't he? Tyrone Peachy. Yeah, they can't get out of the phone box here. Newcastle, they can't move.
10 out, 4 tackles gone. This will be tackle number 5. They'll be kicking on top of their own 10-metre line.
11 metres.
Man, for Ponga. That's a takeover from Jackson Hastings. It bounces down here to Edwards. Awkward bounce there, but a pick up off his laces. Turnover, though. He tried to find Taruva, knocked on by the Panthers, then Frizzell. But Newcastle get a big opening here.
Now, it was a brilliant defensive set, the best of the night from Penrith, and then Dylan Edwards just firing the pass to Taruva, who lost his footing.
Jackson Hastings with the headgear on. Down to you, James Hooper.
Yeah, so he's done a fitness test in the dressing sheds. It is the same ankle as what he hurt when he fractured that last year playing for the West Tigers, Warren. We've just been told, though, he has been cleared and he is expected to try and make a return to the field.
I don't know what they rubbed on it, but I'd like a couple of jars of it, Mick.
I might need some tonight too.
Take 5 shots off your handicap. What a recovery by Jackson Hastings by the looks of things. Here's Croker. He counts it up to be just outside the 30. 14 minutes remaining. 8 the difference. Hands at the line. Ponga finds Best. Pops it over the top. The pass look forward. That's just a bridge too far there. A pass in hindsight that Bradman Best would like over again.
Where would you like it?
He just wouldn't pass it.
Yeah, nice tight shape from Newcastle, and it was Best that almost got on the outside there of Tungor, who's done a great job defensively tonight, Isaac Tungo, managing the strength and the footwork of best. And there's no doubt that went forward.
Well, Kenny Rogers' moment there, got to know when to hold him and know when to fold him.
Yeah.
Should have held him right there as opposed to popping that one over the top. Off the back of this game, of course, beyond full time, we'll take you to Amy Park. Melbourne Storm versus the Manly Seagulls. The two old enemies going head to head once again. Big game for the Seagulls. Off the back of a fairly listless effort last week against the Parramatta Eels. They need to show something against the Melbourne Storm, who found some form in the middle part of the season. And of course, without Tom Trbojevic for the remainder of the year. Good contact there by Fisher Harris. Forwards coming together. Sorensen across the halfway line. Play it there for Salmon. Full pass there, which Cogger has to clean up. Garner brings it back, runs towards Croker. They've lost their way through this middle part of this set, the Panthers. Still 33 of 35 they've completed, and Leota gets them going back in the right direction. See what sort of kick they put in here. Cogger, he lofts one. He was taken to ground there beyond the kick. Ponga makes the catch. No problem with the contact on Jack Cogger. It was Tyson Gamble who was there to wrap him up. And watch this again as he comes in, makes a wrapping motion and takes him to ground. That's all okay.
Completely fine. Great call from Ben Cummins. Look at Mitch Kenny. Look at the line speed. I mean, he doesn't get the raps that he deserves for this Penrith side, Mitch Kenny. They've been huge boots to fill as we see Jackson Hastings back out there for Newcastle. Stepping in for premiership winner Abby Coruscant. Kenny doing a great job at dummy half.
Almost coughed it up here. Crossland just couldn't get the ball off his fingertips, looking for Gamble. Well, comes back. What a recovery this is. Jackson Hastings, basketball pass there. And now Dominic Young, he hoofs one. Somehow finds the turf inside the sideline. Most wingers can have a fair kicking game. I don't know about Dominic Young after seeing that one, though, Mick.
No, that was pretty ordinary. Question marks as well over the pass from Jackson Hastings to Tyson Frizzell, but we're not talking forward passes this week.
Surely he's a left footer. He's got to be a left footer, having seen that. That's not his natural foot.
No, that wasn't one of his finest highlights. That was Dominic Young. And in the background, Jackson Hastings just giving someone an absolute bait. Have a look at this from the back five tonight at Penrith. Talk about taking pressure off the middle forwards. Look at the numbers that they have punched through tonight. That is phenomenal.
Well, the old rule of thumb, the coaches will tell you, defensively, if you can shut down the opponent's outside five, their back five, full back the wingers in the centres to less than 500 metres, you've done a great job. The Panthers way beyond that number. Here is Sorensen playing it. Last tackle again for Cogger. To kick it out wide, Jenkins makes the catch, looking for an offload, gets it away as well to Leota. He hands it out the back as well. Hail Mary pass. Now Salmon, long ball. Sorensen, 2-on-2 here. A kick by Peachy. Taruva, shoulder to shoulder with Young, and the ball beats everybody.
Oh, it's beautiful skill again from Tyrone Peachy, the little left footer, and as Taruva came through, he's on ball tyres. He just couldn't get any traction. Then in the north-western corner, he just collides there with Dominic Young. Couldn't keep his footing. And a real chance gone begging there for Penrith. What a night Tyrone Peachy's having on that left-hand side for Penrith.
Oh, nasty gash up there in the hairline for Dane Gagai. Well, that needs to be a serious one, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For the centre. Blood flowing there. Inside the final 10 we go. Hastings, left arm up, trying to fend away from Fisher Harris and also Kenny. Plays it for Crossland. Goes through the hands of Gamble, away to Bradman Best. Well picked off though, and a strong tackle made by Cogger. He's been outstanding again here tonight.
Yeah, his defence has been superb.
Hastings kicking for Dominic Young. It's Young versus Edwards. Edwards gets the bounce he was hoping for. Gets the ground quickly enough and keeps it in the field of play for Penrith. Peachy down the short side. Saw the space. Boy, he's playing high on confidence at the moment is the Peach.
Yeah, good. Just backing himself like the old days, Peach.
Ruva here, a bit the worse for wear off the back of that contact. Back to play it okay. Check there from Panthers trainer Peter Green. They bump it back towards the halfway line and beyond.
He's been great again tonight, Fisher Harris.
Now Cogger has to reach for a low pass there. Great composure though. Kick goes down to Marju. A skip there. And the ball out the back for Kalen Ponga. Trailing by 8. 8 left in the game. Might be time for a couple of chances taken from inside their own half. Marju. Wrapped up there. The bookends combining for Penrith. Crossland. They'll find a man. Oh boy, that pass looked forward.
Not this week, Warren.
Not on Wednesday night, not on Saturday night here in Penrith. It's Kurt Mann who'll play it. 5 on his own side of halfway. Crossland goes across to Hastings out the back. Gamble, his pass didn't have to be forward. It goes into touch. Marju wasn't there. There's a chance taken by the Knights, and they had to start taking some quite obviously. There was nobody there. Marju was missing, having come midfield earlier in the set.
Well, they've been jamming hard on the edges, Penrith, and there's some space on the outside if they can get the ball there, but it's all in at the blackjack table, and he went all in. And Marju just not in position, just simply hands on hips, not in position, and a chance missed there from Newcastle. Oh yeah, good contact from the inside there, Leo Thompson.
In the situation with their stars missing twice in 2022, the Panthers came up with wins against the Bulldogs and the Tigers. They were so close last week, beaten in Golden Point by the Cowboys. And here they are again, the cavalry arriving, and they're so close to winning against the Knights, with all the Origin stars being rested. Kenny jumps out of dummy half. So impressive, these two-time defending champs. Edwards finds Cogger, tips it out wide. Jenkins is there, catch and dump again, and then the kick by Tungor.
Where would you like to play the ball?
Come off a Newcastle Knights.
Not played.
They've been relentless, Penrith. This is the kick from Cogger across field to Jenkins. Did a good job to keep it alive with Tungor. Not played out there from Greggy Marju, and they'll get the footy back. Their attention to detail tonight, Penrith, they have been ruthless with a couple of two-pass shifts and then the change of angle back through the middle. It's been an absolute blowtorch with their attack, targeting the middle third of Newcastle. It has just been one after the other, every single set. Two-pass, change of direction. Get back to the middle, two-pass, change of direction, back through the middle. There's just been no release in pressure for the Knights' middle third. It's been brilliant from Penrith.
It was 16-6 at half-time, a try apiece in this second half. Here's a shift, Frizzell back on the angle, spins it back to Hastings. Ponga hasn't had too many chances to show what he can do tonight. He's run for just 48 metres for the entire game, in fact.
Great tackle.
Croker, there, chopped down. It was Leota up there to meet him, and now Hastings from the halfway line. He'll go down towards Edwards. Taruba thought he might make the catch, but Edwards calls him off. And the fullback will bring it back here, 25 short of the halfway line. We've got 5 minutes remaining in the second of 3 games on Fox League Super Saturday. After Melbourne next. Storm versus the Sea-Eagles once again.
Here he goes again. Oh, is that Tungor? It's his 22nd carry for the night, and still he finds another 12 and keeps fighting. Look at this. Tungor nearly pinching 20 metres with the carry.
He might finish with almost 250 metres or maybe beyond by the time we get to the siren. He might be cramping up off the back of all the metres he's run here tonight. Eisenhuth, good rest back on the bench. There to steer the ship home as well. And Salmon chopped down. One more here. Cogger looks back towards the left-hand side. Here's a chance for Peachy and Taruba. This time there will be a penalty. The contact on Cogger, not legal this time, says the referee. They lead by 8. You'd imagine they'll keep going.
Gee, I'm okay with that too. I mean, he's wrapping his arms. He goes down with him. It's not late.
Not too dissimilar to what we saw 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? And he can't believe it either, Tyson Frizzell.
No, like the penalty. Hold there, mate. Over here.
Jackson Hastings asking the question, having seen the replay
Yeah.
on the big screen.
No.
Can they find the killer blow
Okay,
here,
let's go.
Penrith?
Just hold it.
And you would think they don't go for the 2 points. So keep it in hand and try and put it to bed right here. Melbourne Storm against the Seagulls. That's next, as we mentioned, right here on Super Saturday. That'll be a terrific game. So much riding on it, especially for the Seagulls off the back of the shattering news. They're without Tom Trbojevic for the remainder of the season. So it's Kenny. Fisher Harris running at Ponga, who took quite a bump again this time. Back on his feet, looks to be okay. He's zeroed in on Fisher Harris a couple of times as Kalen Ponga. Back to the middle, Eisenhuth. Tries to just slide his way through the line in a sideways fashion. From Kenny. Long pass for Cogger. Good ball as well. Edwards. Garner. Met there by Croker. 2 plays remaining in this set. Kenny jumping out from dummy half. Nothing doing there. And they've got one more. Spread to the left-hand side. Yoda. He finds Cogger, who kicks. Here's Peachy. Good grab there by Gagai, but Peachy wraps him up for a goal line dropout. Inside 3 remaining.
Been all class, Jack Cogger. And great angle on the kick. That low punching, skidding kick. Dane Gagai did well to pick the footy up off his bootlaces.
Knights go short, but there was nobody there to contest the ball. Boy, they missed their assignment there on that occasion. Plenty of hang time from Ponga. It was an easy grab for the Panthers. That might have been their last chance to get the ball back and put any sort of pressure on the Panthers. Fisher Harris, he finds Cogger. He deserves to grab one late here to finish this off. He's 5 away from the Knights line. Kenny. Time on the Panthers side. Finds Moses Leota. Brings it back towards trio of defenders there. Kenny. Come over the top of the fallen Newcastle defender. Sorensen back in the middle. Oh, he lost it there. Might have been thinking about another offload. Just a couple more here tonight. It ends up with Croker. Well, if they can score in the next 30 seconds, they'll give themselves a couple of plays off a restart. They need to score right here, right now. Just comes away from Sorensen, straight to Thompson. Hastings for Frizzell. How much adventure, though? It looks like they're absolutely out of tickets. Crossan says who wants it. Man taking it forward for a simple hit-up. They don't need hit-ups with 80 seconds remaining. Hastings. He finds Gamble. Heads towards the sideline. Best. He was tackled after he touched it, so the contact was okay. And that'll be it tonight.
Yep.
What an effort by the Panthers. Resting Crichton and To'o and Luai, Martin and Yo, and Nathan Cleary, of course, out with a hamstring strain. 6 stars missing, and they've got the job done against the Newcastle Knights.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal win, isn't it? You can see Nathan Cleary just in the back of the coaching box there, and the Panthers juggernaut continues to roll towards an opportunity of winning 3 straight premierships. The luxury of Ivan Cleary being able to rest his stars, taking no chances after game 2. And the guys that have come in and the depth in the roster and the quality of depth in their roster on show tonight proves they are a genuine title contender again.
Might have a set play in mind right here off the scrum win. Peachy will take it forward. So if you go back to last year in this situation, missing their origin stars, they were 2-0. Combined wins against the Bulldogs and the Tigers. They've won here tonight against the Knights. And they went within an ace of beating the Cowboys last week, denied only in golden point time. They've won 3 out of 4, while the Stars have been rested by their coach. They are a champion team, and they've proven that again here tonight. At home, in front of a big crowd. They've really hurt the Knights' chances of making the top 8 this season. Penrith win for the 10th time. Their record now 10 wins and 5 losses. They've beaten the Knights 20 points to 12.